How does anyone, or any team for that matter, stop Zion Williamson?
Oh, I got a simple way. It's actually not that hard to stop Zion Williamson. You want me to tell you what you do? You foul him. That's what you do. You foul him. When you look at him last night and playing for Duke, this dude shot 2 of 9 from the free throw line. That's really the only way. Other than that, force him to shoot perimeter shots, which is pretty difficult to do since most defenders are moving out his way at this particular moment in time. He's a physical freak of nature. He's an absolute phenomenal specimen. He's clearly going to be the #1 overall pick. He's big time, make no mistake about it. His athleticism, the mass, the size, his hops, it's ridiculous. But here are the question marks. The jump shot is really a set shot, #1. And #2, send him to the free throw line. Because if you send him to the free throw line, what's he going to do there for you? You shoot 2 of 9. That's basically, do you realize he missed 7 free throws last night? 7 of 9 free throws. It's the only shots he missed. It's the only shots he missed. But it is. But if somebody misses 7 of 9 free throws, I bet you this one thing, Roy Williams in North Carolina tonight is going to foul him quite a few times. Because how else are you going to stop him? And he's going to be hyped to go up against them. Because remember, he got hurt 36 seconds into the game against North Carolina. And then the second go-round when they went to Chapel Hill, because that was at Cameron Indoor Stadium, they beat them. North Carolina beat them twice. You 8 miles apart, man. You know what I'm saying? You know how Jay Williams knows what I'm talking about, how those colleges compete with one another. And it ain't just on a basketball court, just for the record. I mean, you got bragging rights in a lot of ways in Chapel Hill, in that Durham area. So he's going to be hyped tonight. Roy Williams needs to foul him a lot because that seems to be the only way to stop him.
I mean, like, how do you stop Zion? But by stopping him, does Duke still win? Because then you didn't really stop him. Zion's a team player. So the issue is, how do you beat Duke, right? Well, I mean, you pack the middle and make them hit shots from the outside. But you knew that going into this season. That's what you do against Duke. And if they're hitting shots, good luck. Zion, by the way, is a two-way player. He's a defender. He's a willing passer. He is a better shooter than a lot of guys his size at this point in their lives or careers. And I want to say something about what Zion said to those who are giving him the advice, hey, don't play another game, because I am one of them. What did I always say, Stephen A? Well, I'm not trying to tell, if that's what's in his heart that he wants to play, he needs to play. And good for him for addressing it. Even the way he addressed critics who say, hey, there's too much at stake for Zion to fulfill his commitment to the team. He respectfully says, okay, thanks for the advice. I love doing this. This is what I want to do. This is me. Good for him. He is in all the important ways, he's a perfect prospect. In all the important ways. Yes, he could shoot a little better. He could shoot free throws better. There are things about his game that he can refine. But he has greatness written all over him. And even if you stop him, I don't know. I mean, if they're not hitting their shots, I suppose you've stopped him. But if his teammates are hitting shots from the outside, good luck stopping him.
Hey, Jay, take this. Give me the game plan, literally. Is it what Stephen A said? Is it hack a Zion? How do you go about stopping Zion? Hell, you can do this at the collegiate and the professional level. How do you stop a guy who's almost perfect right now?
Yeah, well, I was going to say a couple of things to unpack here. Number one, to address what Max just said. Look, the sentence he said before that, right? Because that was the second time that Allison asked him the question, how would you address your critics? He first off said they're not smart. He's like, well, those people aren't smart. So, like, Zion has an edge to him that is different, that he's going to bring into this game tonight. Now, he was able to quickly recalibrate that and give the politically correct answer, which I give him a lot of credit for. He's very in tune. He's very smart. He understands how to play the game. So he said a little edgy comment, and then he gave an uplifting comment to ease the edgy comment, okay? So that's number one. He understands how everything's playing into it. Secondly, how you stop him, I agree with SA. You stack the lane. You force him to be a free throw shooter, and you force him to see multiple defenders. Zion Williamson, and one of the reasons that I said I was worried about him coming back to some degree is that he is freakishly athletic. Did you see what he did? Like, every single play that he had last night ends up being a highlight because he has a 45-inch vertical. You take that away, all of a sudden, what other parts of his skill set does he bring to the table? I mean, he tries to barrel through contact. He won't be able to do that at the next level. So I still think as far as his skill set, he needs to add a mid-range game. He needs to work on that shot, that free throw shot, that three-point shot, because you get to the next level, Will, Max, SA, like guys are going to play off him. Guys are going to have that physicality to meet him at the rim. He kind of reminds me of he's what Josh Smith should have been. Now, Josh Smith had a better jump shot back in the day, but he reminds me of that NBA comp, because when you used to watch Josh Smith, you're like, yo, this dude has all the tools. He just didn't have that. Zion has this, and Zion has that perpetual motion where he just wants to dog you each and every play, which is a skill set that is extremely underappreciated.
So I tell you, you got to appreciate this too. And this is what people don't realize. When you go up against a surreal talent, particularly one who's emotional on the court, and by that I mean it in a good way, you've got to people don't realize that the great coaches figure out a way to frustrate you. It's not just about simply taking away your strength. It's taking away your preferences. Zion is a physical freak. Zion loves making the highlight reels. He loves dunking the basketball all over the place. What if you made him shoot jump shots? What if you took away the interior? What if you made him show you a mid-range game or a game beyond the three-point arc or foul him? You got to remember that could serve to quell the momentum of Duke.
But don't you think coaches are coming into games saying those exact things and being incapable of executing it?
I think to some degree when you talk about incapability, sure, because you see guys intimidated by him and moving out of his way because he's so big and he's so powerful. But that's these guys. That might not necessarily be North Carolina. That's certainly not going to happen deep into the NCAA tournament. When you're going up against Gonzaga and Kentucky and North Carolina and Michigan State and people like that, oh, no. Those programs is going to be a different animal.
But
and that's what's going to make it interesting.
That's why I'm saying, even if a guy's not Jay. Go ahead, Jay.
Go ahead, Jay.
No, I was going to say, look, if you hold Zion Williamson to 15 and 10, that's a great night defensively.